Holy moly. Peace, beloved, peace. It's your homie, YungContent, the unofficial sensei of the culture, mastering youthfulness, karate, and NFTs, all the above. Tell grandma that we're live. Shout out to the Huxley fam. I see you in the chat. We do have Ben Mauro loaded up. He is literally in the dojo. We're going to teleport to him very soon. We just got finished streaming on Orphan's channel. That was cool. The NFT space is blown up. There's only 7 toys left in order to get into the secret dojo. Ben Mauro has a toy because he's like a super icon and we look up to him. So we can't wait to talk about all things Huxley. Make sure you engage in the chat. Ask questions. Make sure you get 5 comics too of Huxley issue number 1. We'll talk about that as well. So much to unpack. So without further ado, let's talk to the OG himself. What's going on, Ben?
Hey, Young, how's it going, man?
Dude.
Thanks for having me again.
It's been since how long? When we talked last time? I keep watching that video over and over in my mind.
Yeah, it's probably earlier after Evolution, probably, right?
Yeah, that was May.
Like early in the year, yeah.
Dude.
Time flies, man.
It
feels like 10 years ago.
I see you got a little upgraded chair behind you, a little upgrade in there inside the old dojo.
My old chair, yeah.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait to unpack all things in your life, Huxley. How you been first and foremost after the drop and all that jazz?
Good. Yeah, it's good. It's always exciting to see something get out the door and then get the roadmap going. Like I did with Evolution, right? We kind of launch and then it's like, okay, what cool stuff can we do for all the collectors and strategizing that and making cool stuff. And same thing for this. And looking forward to the next 6+ months of like supporting and rewarding and doing a bunch of cool stuff for all the collectors.
Yeah, dude, it's I haven't read the comic yet. I want to. I know that all your OG Huxley people how are they? Are they frothy at the mouth that this is here? The people that really believed in Huxley in the beginning, that you know.
Yeah, it's super cool because I mean, especially all my art friends, like I've been talking about this for like almost a decade, and they're like, "When's it coming out? When's it coming out?" So it's cool to finally get it out the door and see the response and stuff, and yeah, figure out the coolest strategy to get the issues out in a pretty reasonable manner because everyone's like, I want to read the next one. Where's the next one? And the story's all done, all the issues are all done, so it's a lot of it's just like figuring out the best way to release those things and let people enjoy the story.
I love that. You're perfect at letting people enjoy the story. We're gonna talk about evolution, everything, just everything since May. But I want to shout out to the chat. I think that's Avian. What up, Huxley fam? DeMarco Reddins put earth signs. Crypt Psych. What up, Huxley fam? Hey, Crypt Psych. What's bracking, young? What's up, dude? Jan Ho says that we are. I remember our last time we talked, there was like 4 people in the chat, 5 people. And we've grown exponentially since then. Stays consistent. So has Ben. Speaking of your consistency, Ben, you got any new? Are you meditating like we talked last time, or are you kind of getting out?
No, I should.
You've been
No,
full
it sounds like a good
degenning into
idea.
Huxley.
Yeah, it's been full on. It's probably I probably need more sleep than meditation, but meditation will be good once I'm caught up on my sleep.
Sheesh, sheesh. So I literally got my. What made you guys want to give the free issue number 1 to your first 5 wave holders? Why that? Why that strategy? It's actually kind of kind to you guys, but I was expecting.
Yeah, yeah, I think we wanted to do something really like to reward all my previous collectors, and a lot of the people coming to Discord were kind of overlapping, so it felt like a nice way to like, yeah, just reward people early to the project that were excited about it, and um, reward people who have been collecting and investing in me for the past year or so, and yeah, it just seemed like a nice thing to try to do.
Nice. Did Avian, shout out to Avian one time. I know you and Avian, I've helped him out in Top Shot when he was locked out. We always talk about the story, and now he was helping you with Evolution, and I know you're really grateful for your mods and your community, especially Avian. It's
Definitely,
cool.
definitely. Yeah, it's been cool to see people come along, and like he was super into evolution, and then once Huxley started, it was like, hey, you want to be involved in this, and came on over and helping out. It's been cool.
Nice. I'm so happy that you chose to go with ETH this time. Was that a big group decision in the council? Hey, we're not gonna. Flow was great to me. Yes, I know, but we want why ETH? Why did you go to the ETH side?
I think just because it's has maybe the biggest community at the moment, and I was trying to get Huxley out to like the largest audience possible at launch, and I think there's a ton of great stuff happening on Flow, and there's a lot of great collectors and things. And I met a bunch of great collectors and friends on Flow, but having cool projects on both chains, I think, is what I would like to do. And so when like I did with Evolution, being able to reward them on an ETH project, and then whenever I do new stuff for Evolution, I can reward people on Huxley, and just having this cross chain system of supporting and rewarding my collectors, I think is really cool. So no matter where I go, I can reward them and know I'm taking care of them and stuff.
Nice. So since I talked to you in May, is Evolution still an IP that you're going for, or is it kind of taking the back seat between Huxley?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of plans for that one that I can't talk about exactly right now, but like we kind of closed off series 1 pretty well. I finished off all the legendary and diamond rewards and stuff, and then the next thing was just getting Huxley out the door and then supporting that. And yeah, I'm basically just want these 2 projects to be the things I'm supporting as moving forward. So definitely keeping both of these in mind as I go forward.
Is there any alpha you can leak for Evolution holders? As far as I know, I did fill out that form. Do we get anything as an Evolution holder with Huxley? Because I know you got a bunch of stuff. I see in the trailer you got gold, you got platinum, you got
Mhm.
it's so much stuff. Is there anything that Evolution collectors can expect, or no?
I
You
think
can't say.
the main thing was issue one, but there might be some stuff for like higher tier and things like that. But I just want to get those guys issue one at least for being part of one of my early projects for sure.
For sure. Yo, Pianos with Teeth. All you have to do is go to youngcontent.io, and then it's the Tony toy, which is all the way to the right. So go to YungContent, YUNG content.io, and then you can get in the dojo. Shout out to yo Metamori. Thanks for being here. You're a legend. Tell Grandma Ben Mauro's here. I wanted to say, I literally was late to the Discord in Huxley, and I feel real bad because I remember you telling me about this amazing IP, and I wanted to have like first wave, first dibs. I ended up getting the fifth wave, getting my comic, but I want one of those gold pieces, dude. What do I gotta do to get some of this high end collectibles? Because I really want to support this IP. I think it's gonna be very special. I think with your connections in the movie world, this is only going up. You're only going up regardless. So, how do collectors really tap into the Huxley universe? Like myself, do I have to do?
I think right now it's mainly it's just issue one is kind of your entry point to everything, and everything's kind of connected to issue one. And we're still planning out the release of collectibles and stuff. But yeah, excited to see those launch as well because. They just look really amazing when you see them. It's just like the level of detail and stuff.
Have you seen any of those physically? Did you have to like approve them physically, some of these prototypes, or is it all been NFTs digitally designed like that?
It's NFTs at the moment. But yeah, I was working on some other stuff that we built all these for that will be coming out later. But we did a bunch of stuff where I was like designing and helping make sure these characters adapting the characters from the comic into like what it would look like as a film or a photo reel. And so that was a really fun process usually it's like you're taking someone else's comic as a job and like, what does Spider-Man look like as live action or whatever? And you have to adapt someone else's work, but it was fun to adapt my own work in a similar way that I've done on movies and stuff.
Seriously. When the trailer dropped, a lot of my friends that didn't know what Huxley was literally had their faces melted off. And whoever worked on that trailer, bravo to you. Is that something intentional? You wanted it to get like a really movie-esque vibe to your release?
Yeah, I mean it's like my background and like the first few shots in the trailer, like I did a really rough cut of like what I wanted, and it was like basically what we shipped, but like it looks a lot better in the final one. And like a lot of those early shots were just like I made those shots in Blender. Like it wasn't like a giant company or something. Like I just made those in Blender and stuff, and that was really fun to try to put together. And it's where this is going. I think we're just kind of hinting at a lot of these in everything we put out there. So it was cool to make a like announcement trailer for the universe to kind of sell where things are going.
Dude, did you get Bear McCreary on your soundtrack or something? Because it just sounds super, super polished, clean. I think I was listening to the end, that 10 seconds when you have that Marvel-esque looking Huxley that comes up. Who did the soundtrack for that? Because I think we were talking about you wanted to get that sound right, and I think you're doing that now.
Yeah, it's a composer named I forget his name, is like from there. I can post it for you, but like he's amazing composer, and worked with him on a few things that we're going to be releasing. And he really nailed the sound that I was hoping for, and I think it sounds pretty unique and fitting for the world that I've been trying to create.
Wow. Guys, you know how I know Ben is going to win? Because he is a sensei himself. He's a master of contentment. You were just on OpenSea's Twitter Spaces. You've been everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you still seem to always stay grounded. You really could tell that you love to do this stuff. It doesn't change you. Money won't change you. It's literally you're just here to tell a story. Can you talk about how grateful you are that Huxley is here And did you think you would get here this fast, or did you always knew it would be on this timeline, Q3, Q4, 2021?
Yeah, I think it was just finding the right like release strategy and team and stuff. Like I could have always just dropped it on OpenSea or something in February, but then it wouldn't have felt very special, I guess. And um, a lot of the options out there were not ideal. So finding a team to build like a custom site that we can support and run long term is was really important to me. So that just meant waiting a bit of time to make sure we did it right and had all these elements in place. And yeah, it's been crazy to see like, or just feels weird that's finally out the door after so long because it was like working in silence quite a bit to like building up to get it out there, and it's cool to see it out there now.
Are you the type that just basks in your work, or are you like a futurist where you have to be? Well, what's season 2 look like? Are you literally just right now basking in the Genesis releases of this comic, Huxley?
I think it's always a bit of that, right? Like there's definitely a lot of like I want to make sure to plan a bunch of cool stuff, but not so much that it's going to kill me. Um, so it's like finding a bunch of cool stuff that I would want as a collector. Like when I collect other people's stuff, I think people always do cool stuff, and it's just finding a nice schedule that's realistic and still really fun. Um, so yeah, a lot of it right now is just like planning that out, not getting too underwater, and just like cool things that can be executed.
I love that. I'm gonna switch gears here, but have you you seen this PFP craze? I think when we were talking in May, I think Bored Apes wasn't even out. I don't
Probably
know.
not. Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
not. I think it was just a bunch of Top Shot. Your collection was out, and I don't think Bored Apes have made even made a splash. But
Mhm.
have you been collecting any of these PFPs? Did you? I know you're a really great graphic novel collector, but have you been diving into the collection of OpenSea and stuff and picking stuff you like, or no?
Not as much as I should. I really love a lot of these, but I think I got into them too late or after they blew up, and I just kind of missed the boat. But I definitely love to be collectors of them. Especially like CryptoPunks. I feel like I missed that boat so bad. And
Dude,
it's just like um uh yeah, I definitely love all that stuff, but I guess I've just been so focused on Huxley that by the time I peeked my head up, I like missed all of it, and it's like, I'll what's the, well, I guess I'll try to get the next one.
dude, I literally was listening to a space podcast, and I found out, being a sci-fi nerd, I know you're a sci-fi nerd, that you know the atmosphere of the Earth is a thin layer. It's like thinner than an apple skin, and the way that time travels from in the outer zone compared to where we're at, I think it's like 14 sunrises and sunsets compared to R1 sunrise and sunset, two of them. It's just different time. And I think with the collection, it's like NFTs are moving at warp speed, just like that, mirroring that space kind of energy. But it's a blessing or a curse. You're either not gonna get all the stuff, or you're gonna focus on your baby and really dominate with that. Can't be everywhere at every time.
That's true. Yeah, and I feel like historically, I'm always like not the best at like investing in a currency or investing in a crypto or something. Like, I always feel like I'm good at making like I know my strengths. Like I know I can make art and I know I can like do cool stuff. But like once I get into like the investment kind of mindset, I don't feel like I'm as well suited as a lot of other people who are like hero, like legendary collector kind of people that it is kind of a full time job. And then I'm not doing art anymore, and then I feel like I'm stagnating maybe. So it's definitely finding that balance if you want
For
to be a
real.
collector and an artist.
Um, Cyberpip said, "Hey folks, caught the spaces earlier. Looking forward to the Huxley game theory for sure." Brendan, shout out to you. Gotcha. He says APO here. This is for you.
Alpha plays only.
Do the avatars connect to anything? Super Marvel vibes for sure. Drew says legend. Cody Clearman, yo, so pumped for this. Almost missed the live stream. I'm working, but cannot miss the sheesh. This space is so much more enjoyable if you can focus on collecting pieces you're passionate about. Yes, you don't gotta chase all the hype. Did you notice a lot of flippers coming in to buy Huxley issue #1, or, because you saw a massive wave of Discord members, and
Sure. Yeah.
it was kind
That
of
was
like,
definitely
oof.
interesting. Yeah, that was interesting to see. Like definitely learned a lot from that experience. Like, because there were people who were genuinely there that were super appreciative and love what we were doing, and then others who definitely feel like they kind of like go to all the discords and like try to get stuff and then flip it. And so it's been interesting to like see this ecosystem that kind of exists and adjust and for issue 2. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience.
If I say flippers are dog water, what do you say?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like I mean, I was in like a spaces the other day where they were like there's nothing, I guess there's nothing like wrong with it, but it's like some of it gets a little, not like, no, I don't want to say menacing or like,
just imagine trying to flip fucking Nirvana's like signature on your shirt. You know what I mean? Dude, hold the thing, man. You never know it's Nirvana, dude. Or
yeah. It's just different, different
Nature's
mindsets, and it's just different mindsets and different people trying to do different stuff. And you can't, I don't know, you can't blame people for trying to make a living and stuff. And
sweet. Speaking of blame, a lot of people in our Discord are like, dude, buying 5 comics for an avatar is expensive. I'm like, have you seen Punk's comic and how they started? Have you seen Party Degens? Have you seen most of these, anything on Super Rare, or a collection with 1,000 is very limited.
Yeah, I think that's something
what
that
are we getting from holding 5, and then speak to that wire or the Discord.
Yeah, I think maybe there might be misunderstanding of like comparing it to like a 10,000 generated things. This is a much more limited 1,000, so it's like 10 times more rare, and I'm trying to make it as close to like an original piece of art for me, and not something that I just, a button was clicked or something. So yeah, like getting to own a 1-of-1 for me in 1,000 collection of these robots that are quite unique, I think. I don't know, I think that's pretty special compared to what I've seen out there. And
are they all unique, or they all share 100 of the same traits?
We haven't discussed that yet, but we'll be explaining that a bit more. But I'm trying to make it as much of like a quite unique experience for all of them. Yeah,
for sure. I have a friend named Mark the Habibi. He's dropping his 1,000 collection. It's kind of like living in a parallel, and it's called Generation Habibi. Maybe you could take some like ideas from it. But it's 100 in each generation. Each generation gets identified by the earring. So there's like a scarab, a pyramid, a star. There's all these different generations in that 100, and there's also something called archetypes, which are 1-of-1s in the generation of the 100. So it's just, I always think that sharing information in the space helps each other and stuff. But I think having a 1-of-1 from you, and I've seen the stuff you do on Super Rare, she goes for like 20, 30 Heath. Yeah, dude, I really cannot wait. Why the robots? Why that robot for owning all 5 issues? I mean, the first 5.
First one, yeah. I think it's just there's different characters in this universe, and he's got a very like, a lot of the other stuff's kind of scary and evil looking, and he's quite kind of appealing and kind of almost a little bit of a silly character in the books. And I think a lot of people respond to him and are drawn to that character in particular. So I thought it was a good starting point to start with. And the lore in the world is that he is this kind of mass-produced worker robot, and so in the universe there are infinite amount of varieties and different versions of this character. So it kind of fit the idea of a lot of the PFP projects, where it's like lots of variety, lots of different looks and styles and things that people can identify with. So it kind of fit pretty well, and it just felt like it fit.
I don't think we have a clean robot like that in NFTs. Yes, you have the Vogus, and you got the robotos, but having that detailed like PFP of that's definitely unique. I want to give a shout out to Vertical V tapping in from East Charlotte. Shout out to you, Vito, in the building. Gang, that's a legend. Metamori, it's fucking wild that flippers that will wreck the floor selling at a loss. I will never understand that, especially the ones that do right after the fucking mint. Brennan says, yeah, it's really confusing myself as well. So is that robot inspired from like didn't you work on Chappie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did for sure.
So Chappie the Robot, the movie. Guys, let me reset the room. If you don't know who Ben is, he worked on The Hobbit, Spider-Man, Halo. He dropped his first NFT project on Flow called Evolution. We in that interview in May, go check it out. Just type Ben Mauro, YungContent. He talked about Huxley, which is a post-apocalyptic world comic universe. I really feel like, dude, you're like a Stan Lee of the generation. I don't think, I know that's a lot of shoes to fill, but do you feel like that way sometimes? Like, because no one else is doing this, you know, DC is moving in, but no one's making their own universes like you are.
Yeah, I guess that's always been my goal though. Like I look up to all these guys, like like a Stanley or a Miyazaki making his films, and that mindset of like, especially Miyazaki, like he just focuses and makes this thing and puts it out in the world, and people love it and enjoy it for generations and generations. And then he says he's going to quit, and then he goes to work on another movie, and he's like, no, I don't quit. I gotta do another one. And it's like something he just has to do. And I definitely kind of feel that and need to create those things myself and put those stories out in the world. And
you need
just feel
to
like a thing I need to do. And you need to do it.
It's in your soul. Like you just cannot just
have to do it. Yeah.
You have that same thing that Jeff Bezos has, because there are very few people like Jeff or Elon or yourself where they have to fulfill that wild creation. They have to see the Frankenstein like come to life. They have to. It's like if they don't, they'll go mad itself. It's like that is therapy for their sanity.
Yeah, sort of. It's like when I started this, I knew it was going to take a lot of years to make it, and there's always a part of your mind that's like, oh, it'd be easier if I just did this. But it's like, or you get like scared that it's going to take that long, but it's like the time is going to pass anyway, right? Like we're going to get older. That year is going to go by. I might as well spend that year chipping away at a percentage of creating this big project. And to me, that just gives meaning to life in a way, like as opposed to just doing a job that's maybe a bit monotonous, and then a year goes by and you kind of don't have anything, or you didn't really accomplish anything, but you just kind of did this maybe monotonous job or something. And so having things like this, I feel like gives purpose and meaning to the day-to-day of life as an artist, at least.
Yeah, I figured we have a good question from the chat. Someone says they love Chappie. Let me go back full circle. Did you get influence from Chappie for that robot, that the Avatar robot that we're PFP that we're all gonna get if we collect all 5 issue number 1s?
I think there's maybe a little in there. It's like the similar idea of just like a construction worker robot with like milled chassis forms, and a lot of the stuff we did on Neil's movies, Elysium and Chappie, it's all very like looking at real stuff and making sure it feels functional and like put together. And there's definitely a bit of that DNA in a lot of the stuff that I do. And so there's definitely a bit of that in the robot avatars for sure.
Wow. Meta said, how does one DGen start their Huxley collection? What should we be hunting for to get our hands on an avatar like Young mentioned earlier?
At the moment, the only way to do it is holding 5 issues, and we'll be discussing more about that pretty soon. But there will be a burn mechanism to redeem the avatar from holding those issues. Yeah.
There a burn mechanism, you're telling me?
Yeah. So there'll be some fun, like seeing what people decide to do, and the stock of how many exist in the world of people who decide to do an avatar, and the fluctuating supply of how many issues exist in the world will be. And I'm excited to see what happens, um, like where it ends up.
You know
And
the story of the Punks comic, right? Beanie's Punks comic, Pixel Vault, and
Mhm.
Jimmy. You know, them burning their comic for the DAO, the fuck render DAO, which fuck render is a
Mhm.
great 3D artist. It's so crazy how like that is a reflection in Huxley, but in your own version, and that's why I really think when you burn in the supply, you're really going to create a really valuable asset in this one. I mean, people in the Discord are not seeing holding an issue number one. I think there was 900 printed Superman ones in 1939, and only like 100 existed remained.
Mhm.
Dude, having a not only 10,000 but that can burn, bro. It's like serious stuff. And if we do go to this metaverse world where we're getting judged on our collections.
Yeah, I think that's part of how all this works, and I definitely keep track of like what works and what doesn't work and what's successful, and trying to do it in my own way. And I think we're coming up with something pretty interesting for this. And yeah, I'm excited to just see where things go once these like mechanisms start being activated, and seeing what people decide to do. And yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Cyberpip, shout out to you for being a collector. Says feels like the approach will provide choice and value creation, scarcity. Where can I find info on tokenomics and game theory, such as the burn mechanism?
That's getting finalized, and we'll be talking about that quite soon. But it will be on the website pretty soon. But we're just finalizing everything. Yeah. So
Sheesh. That's
little
beautiful.
patience, but it's coming. It's coming.
Oh man. Um, are you going to NFT NYC? I would love for you to maybe speak at VCon or something. I
Yeah,
don't know if you're a
I
public speaker or anything, but you can kill it, dude.
no, I will be. There's actually going to be a painting that will be all around New York that I did, actually part of the robot collection. So you'll be able to see that
That's
all
there?
around. We'll be around NYC, NFT NYC, and so yeah, I'll be there. I think I'll be doing a talk with some of the team members about Huxley, and if you can get into that talk, you might see some really cool top secret stuff. So I'm excited. I've never been to a in-person event, NFT event, so I'm
Did you
excited to
want
meet
to
people
go
in
from the get
person.
go, or did you have to? Did someone force your hand, or you wanted to go?
I think the team was asking me about it. I wasn't aware of this is still pretty new space to me, so I was still so focused on Huxley, and then a lot of the team were like, "Oh, we're going here, like let's do this." And yeah, I'm excited to go. I've never been to a NFT event before.
So can I take pictures behind my future PF, like my future avatar, right? Maybe.
Potentially, yeah, yeah.
Holy smokes, that is insane. I'm gonna be there, so maybe
Awesome.
I'll
Let's
just
do it. Let's
shake
meet
your
up,
hand
man.
or
Yeah.
get a picture. I know you're probably gonna have all the VIP treatment. Are you going to the Knicks game? No, you're not gonna go. You going to the Knicks game?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's get back on track. I wanted to say um I've been really diving deep into sci-fi. Parallel changed my life. I think we talked about Parallel, but it literally just changed my life. They became like top 10 of all time volume. Right there in the categories of the Punks comics and Punks, and Bored Apes. But there's something special about what you're doing with sci-fi. I said there's the three legends, the trinity in sci-fi, which would be Parallel, Huxley, and the Watcher. And what does sci-fi mean to you for those that don't know? And does Huxley have that sci-fi approach to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in the middle of post-apocalyptic and science fiction, and it mixes a lot of things. So it's not just one thing, which it's kind of takes everything that I love growing up, and it's kind of like my own version of it, and my own flavor. And yeah, it's what does science fiction mean to me? I don't know. I think it's just like an interesting escape from our lives, but also telling these very human stories and seeing how people can survive these difficult situations in a alien or far future that we haven't yet lived in, but seeing that humanity and hope and all these human traits can overcome these dangerous feats in a world that does not yet exist. And yeah, I think there's an endless way of telling stories in this, and seeing how all these things might unfold for humanity in the future, like the new Foundation show that just came out, if you've seen it. Super interesting.
Don't spoil
like say
alert. I'm only on the 5th episode.
Okay. I guess well, some of the early stuff, like the Empire, right? Like, how would humanity structure itself when there's like 5 trillion people in the galaxy? Like, how would you even fathom dealing with that many people and organizing that and keeping order in a place like that? And like seeing how the Empire is basically like one person became the emperor and then decided, I'm going to clone myself endlessly for thousands of years because I'm just the best ruler. And just seeing
Cleon
Cleon, like that's a crazy idea, but you could see that happening. Like, you could see someone doing that. Like, there's definitely like politicians or people like that who would just be like, I'm the best. Why would anyone else want to be like, I'm just gonna clone myself, that's it, it's over. So it's fascinating to see like these ideas that happen in real life splayed out exponentially, like further in the future on a much bigger scale. And like, it just becomes a very interesting human narrative to follow and try to think about like man, that probably would happen. Like, that's fascinating to see how that might unfold for humanity in the future, or even like Expanse, even on a smaller scale. Like, they did a lot of really fascinating things.
Shout out to Expanse, that whole colonization.
Like how humanity would survive at that point in our existence, exploring space, like the new frontier, people going to like a new continent, but now it's in space or something. And like Expanse is almost like the early step before Foundation, like before humanity really expands and colonizes the stars. It's very fascinating.
I can only foresee I don't know, I don't want to be too negative, but a grim future when it comes down to like technology. I don't know, there's something about cloning an emperor over and over that I think people would literally be okay with. Not everyone is super bold in their in their voice, but I think that's where these stories come to play. If you could just capture the heart in a heartfelt way in your comics or a story, like you work all the stories like Lord of the Rings, I think those things make better people. They make courageous people. America's so weird because we watch stories about superheroes, but we don't want to be a superhero. You know, we love looking at Neo and just leaving the movie theater instead of really trying to implement belief in yourself or knowing yourself or becoming great.
I think that's what a lot of this is. I love about all this stuff is like the best versions of this entertainment. It teaches us how to be better versions of ourselves because we've probably been in similar situations, and we see how the hero or whoever gets into a situation that we probably have been in our life and how they overcame it in a great way. And it just teaches us how to be better people and overcome those same things in our lives. And I think the best stories and the best narratives that stand the test of time always kind of do this. And when we go back and watch them, we are chasing that kind of feeling of just like wisdom through the story or wisdom through that person's tough decisions in this narrative we're watching unfold. It's a beautiful thing. And that's why I feel like this is an endless lifelong pursuit, right? Like, we can keep telling these stories and doing these things for forever. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of, I think.
Yeah, shout out to Isaac Asimov. I saw his David Letterman interview, and he was predicting YouTube in 1980, and he was predicting so many things. He says, "I like mystery as much as I like sci-fi." I feel like the genres are kind of blending together. Is Huxley a mystery and and post-apocalypse? Does it have mystery? Who is Huxley, and who's the wise one in this story? Is it Max, the guy with the Ronin helmet, or who's the wise one here?
Huxley is the orange robot on the cover of issue 2. Yeah, I guess who would be the wise one? There's a
Would it be
few characters
Huxley?
later on. He's more of a like, I don't want to spoil anything, but he kind of, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically he has, it's kind of like a bit of a mystery and a treasure hunt. They find this robot, and they feel like it has information or like location of a very, like a lost treasure basically, and so they're trying to like help get him to lead them to this lost treasure that could allow them to get out of their lives where they're a bit stuck or a bit like slaves or prisoners in this ecosystem of the city that they live in. So this treasure that could be at the end of this tunnel could allow them to finally be free. And so it's kind of like a nice adventure mystery story, finding out what's at the heart of this kind of treasure map inside this robot.
That is amazing. Must be like some secret palladium in there, or uranium that they're going after. I don't know. Like, I gotta read. I can as a comic book holder or NFT per owner, I can read that right today.
The first part, yeah.
But are physicals coming? Because I really want to get my shit like graded and then put it in away.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a redemption. So all of the other things we're doing, it'll all be around a similar date. So again, the choice, like, do I want my physical? Do I want this? You'll have to decide what you want to do. And again, it'll be interesting to see what people decide to do.
They're gonna design. they're. I mean, you're creating the scarcity gamification model everywhere you look. So Ben and Max, right? The owner, the why
Character, red character, yeah.
Yeah. Why does he have like that samurai look?
I think a lot of it is just mixing visual metaphors that I enjoy. So these guys are almost like enforcer, futuristic enforcer armored soldiers, inspired by, yeah, just mixing all these things together. It just feels really strong and iconic. And yeah, they're kind of like these cloned humans out in the wasteland, and they kind of survive like Spartan babies on a hillside at night. And if the babies would survive, the Spartans would take them into the society and train them as these elite warriors. And it's a little similar here, but the machines just clone people out in the wasteland. And if these clones can survive and are deemed kind of worthy, they are accepted into the city and kind of into this elite society of warriors to become these Ronin soldiers to go off and do missions and
scavenge,
have scavenge and hunt, have some sort of semblance of a like a existence in life in this kind of hostile world. And it's kind of considered an honor for a human to get to that point in the city. You can survive kind of on your own outside, but it's pretty difficult.
I love that. I love that. Even the glasses. You mentioned something in your video about metaverse fashion and the trailer. Mm-hmm. What is metaverse fashion? I really wanted to know.
I think it's just anything you can wear in these metaverse spaces that exist, like Decentraland, Sandbox, all these places. Like, if I love this character, I want to go walk around as Spider-Man or whatever, or some character from Huxley. And so the idea is just, I built a bunch of stuff and a lot of stuff's ready. So a lot of it will just be finding the coolest way to connect some of these things, and when they get unlocked, and making sure we have the right metaverse space that fits and looks cool. If that means we need to, like, because a lot of the assets are super detailed, but a lot of the current metaverse spaces are quite stylized. So it'd be, do we simplify certain things or use a simplified version, or does it look right with a more detailed version? But yeah, it'll be fun to we could all go like hang out at a virtual concert wearing all of our Huxley helmets and stuff.
It's serious, man. It's super, super serious. Um, when I was looking at it, I'm like, man, I can see myself wearing that shit on stream. I wanted to talk to you about the IP rights, though. About does each person own? They don't own the IP rights, so they can't put Huxley on their shirts. I think we are in a wild west when it comes to NFTs and how to understand like the legalities. Yes, a punks you can put it on your shirt, but punks, they were suing someone or they had their project taken down on OpenSea for just mirroring it. What
Yeah.
how do you protect Huxley's IP? Do people get free IP for this, or are you working with lawyers and trying to make sure your brand is not getting eaten alive from the
Yeah, this one is more of something I've developed and trademarked and stuff. That's another reason it took so long, just like registering trademarks and making sure I own it and stuff. And but someone asked this morning in Twitter Spaces about like maybe for the avatars there could be some form of that, and I'll definitely look into that because it could be pretty cool to allow people to go out and like do cool stuff with the thing that they own. And
in essence, it just it's free marketing in a sense that it's
and people can make income from like turn into stickers or like t-shirts or like I think I saw some Bored Apes on like the side of a hockey helmet. They sponsored it or something, and I was like, that's really cool. So I think some form of that is pretty. It's just a really cool idea that's very like native crypto for NFTs, and it's definitely something that I'd be interested in exploring for sure.
Sweet. I think in our past interview we talked about there in your OpenSea Twitter space there was a person in there named Steven. And Steven, has he worked on the Matrix or something like that? Because I remember someone said he worked on the Matrix.
Yeah, he's I've known him for a lot of years.
Sisters?
He I think he started on like on some of the Matrix sequels or something, and a lot of the like motion capture technology that is used on and digital set production. I think he was heavily involved in that. Like the stuff that gets used on Mandalorian and stuff.
Wow.
So he's been in the film industry for a long time and doing a bunch of cool stuff. And
how'd you link up with him?
I think he saw that I was really getting into this, and he was building his own company. And when he told me what he was doing, I was just like, that's amazing. I think this is going to be huge. And I just wanted to be. It seemed like a really interesting thing that I hadn't heard before in the space. And I think when people find out what him and his company are doing, it's going to be pretty wild. Like I still haven't. I don't think the website that's called the feature.io, but that'll be coming soon. But it's going to be cool. I still don't see anyone doing what he's planning to do, so I'm excited to see.
Does he want
the industry
I'm pretty
react?
Sure he wants to probably link you up with who's the director on The Mandalorian? John Trudeau?
Or Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
I feel like Jon Favreau needs to work on Huxley.
I would be honored. That'd be super cool.
I didn't know he was that OG. I really didn't I really underestimated him. But I feel like there's going to be a lot more like him in this cultural phenomenon that we're creating around NFTs and your stories. I think people did that. Imagine that young 10-year-old kid. I'm seeing like 8-year-olds collecting their stuff and showing it off in show and tell. And I only can imagine this is only going to create some real crazy creators for the next couple of years coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how kids come into this. I mean, like, I think we talked about last time, like the teenagers, like the younger artists coming in, like Ferocious and some of these other guys, like doing super well. And like, they're still in high school or something, and they're just kind of set for life. And I think that's just beautiful. And it'll be really cool to see, like, even younger than that, like how they come into this space and how they figure all this stuff out. I think I heard stories about like really younger kids are making like a ton of money, just like making games or things like this. Like younger minds are just like really into programming, and they were like like not even in school yet, and they're just like think all this is fascinating, and I think that's really amazing. Like if I think about what I was doing in high school or something, it's like
You're using MS Paint.
I don't know. Yeah, or there's like nothing existed at that point. It's like it's so crazy how fast everything moves, and yeah, all these younger minds are just gonna pick it up so quick, and like um, it's it's super interesting to follow. Everything moves so fast.
I love it. When you think you project um, that maybe like a feature film, or because I know every time I follow you on Twitter, you always share your friends' short films,
Mhm.
and I think you shared one guy's short film where it was a beautiful. He was walking in the forest with like a hazmat suit, and it was getting
Oh
foggy,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it was so beautiful. And then this like rock beast sucked him in, and his friend. Is that the approach you want to go with? More the animated film, or would you like to make the Jon Favreau vibe?
It'd be cool to do a bit of both. Like I could see Huxley working as like a full CG Love, Death, and Robots kind of thing, but also be cool for like a live action either TV show or like a hybrid TV show or just a full on like big movie. Um, and of course, games would be super awesome. Just because I'm obsessed with games and worked in games the last a lot of years of my career.
You know the ins and
So
outs. I mean,
a
just
lot of
being on
possibilities.
Halo.
Yeah, just building games from the ground up and seeing the effort it takes to make a really polished experience. Like I think a lot of us jump into this space and they all say like, we're going to make a AAA game. It's like, it takes a long, it takes a long time and like thousands of people for like many years to make a AAA game. Like it's no joke. I think it's a lot more daunting, intimidating, and difficult than we think from the outside. Same thing with like a graphic novel. I was like, oh, I could do that. And then when you go start to make a graphic novel, it's like, oh my God, this is so much more work than I expected. But
It's so much.
I'm committed now. I'm committed now. I have to do this. And I think that's just the attitude you have to do with anything, right? Like I'm committed now. I want to do this. Let's go for it. You just kind of have to, yeah, get your head down and get to work and see it through.
Why I love you a lot is because you supported my first NFT, and
Oh,
you
it's
got
awesome, man. I love that. I
you
love that
got it,
character. That's
and
really
I'm
cool.
like, dude, this guy Ben has my NFT. It's like having George Lucas have your NFT, and I really think I know you're a humble dude, but you really, if you do this right in the next couple years, you can set yourself apart. Creating a whole. I mean, Marvel needs some competition. It's drying up. I love Marvel, though. Don't get me wrong. It's just we need new things. I'm trying to build a story verse. It's just no one has done it because I think the man has had us by the ball sack for a long time, and I think that's what we talked about this May, about you feeling free, and you look free,
Yeah,
and you look happy, and you look like you're really in your creative bag, and people can tell that.
yeah, I think so. It's nice to just be in charge of your creative destiny, I guess, right? And I feel like NFTs definitely allow us to do that, and it's definitely a lot harder than it's harder and easier in a lot of ways too, right? Like because working on a big project, there's like thousands of people involved to make that machine run. And now that I'm making my own project, it's a lot more work, but it's a lot more exciting as well. Just finally doing that for myself, but it's yeah, it's a whole new beast.
Whole new
it's
beast.
it's fun though. Yeah.
Whole new beast. You see Elijah Wood, he's collecting NFTs now, talking
Oh
about
wow.
yeah, retweeting NFTs, and I know you were probably on the same set with him in Lord of the Rings. Um, he tell him about Huxley, man. Tell him he might be he might be someone that you can cast on Huxley.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
Have you been thinking about who you would like to cast? I don't. I mean, you have a fascinating mind, so I don't know if that's something that comes to you.
I think a lot of it is more like
Please
people
do
in
James
time.
McAvoy somewhere. James McAvoy. I love them in
It
Split.
could, yeah, that could work. Um, yeah, I think a lot of the base characters was like thinking about archetypes of characters in films, but maybe the ages wouldn't match up. It's like if Kai would be like maybe like a Keanu Reeves kind of look from Point Break, but like that youthful Keanu Reeves or something. Um, or and Max, I was kind of picturing as like that Brad Pitt's character from Fury, the kind of like tank movie, is just kind of like this grizzled kind of old general kind of character looking after these like younger troops, and just thinking about these like visual archetypes and characters that I've seen in films, but I'm not sure if maybe finding someone of the right age that could fit these things now, unless we have a time machine to get Keanu from Point Break to come
Probably
back.
not. But Max does look like you, dude. Max looks like you without the mask.
Yeah, I mean it's based off my face for sure. I mean it's like we look at ourselves
Has
every
that
day,
has that
yeah,
that chiseled
yeah.
jawline here. Someone said my
Yeah, for
2-year-old
sure.
loves checking out NFTs with me. I think the youth are going to take off with this stuff. Wait till the toys watch. Wait till all this interconnectivity. Hard time, love to see it. My kids love my collection too. So fun to share with them. Do you have any kids, Ben?
No, I don't.
Sheesh.
Someday,
No
someday.
wonder you can make all this universe stuff.
Yeah, someday. But yeah, my art's been kind of like my child for most of my career, and um, it really feels like that though. It's like once you get this out the door, it's like a child being born, and now it's like you have to be there to support it and raise it, and you can't, if you abandon it, it's not gonna make it. You gotta be there for it every step of the way.
Absolutely. What we're coming on to the tail end of the end of the stream, but I wanted to ask, what does Q4 look like? What is the next steps for this Huxley saga that are coming up that maybe you can tell us?
Yeah, right now it's just kind of locking down the cycle for each issue because we have auctions coming up for the gold issues, and then we'll be dropping all the 90 other gold issues to anyone who holds issue one. So there's a chance that anyone who holds one issue or more gets a chance to like get a gold issue. And then some of the Discord members were scanning the smart contract and found that there are also hollow. So there's two chances to get a very rare thing with gold and an even more rare thing with the hollow just for holding issue one. And so we're locking down the timeline for this to happen, and then the avatars and redemption for your physical. So it's just getting down the cycle and then basically doing it 5 more times for each issue, and
And
making
then
sure
tattoos
people
come along, and then I have my Metal Gear head, fat my whole desktop. Huxley covering cover base on my desktop. Everything.
that'd be super cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, that's probably the hardest part with Huxley is just there's just so much stuff that it's so overwhelming just for me to think about like all these little pieces that we have to like no, we can't do that. That would be too much stuff. It's just, so it's like chopping up the little pieces and like, okay, this is probably okay for this release, and then this is okay for this, and if we did it all at once, it's just too overwhelming.
No, but it's just right. You're literally making the right beef stew, and it's perfectly cooked. It's getting perfectly cooked, my friend. Natrack said, "Who is Kai then? You don't know who Kai is, dude?"
Kai is the other red armored soldier. He's on the cover of issue 3, or issue 4. Sorry, he's got more of the sideways goggle. So it's these two characters. This older kind of like experienced general character, and Kai is the kind of younger upstart, like yeah, kind of wants to prove himself, and this kind of like a little bit of a buddy cop thing. Again, a little Point Breaky, like the buddy cop. The young guy wants to solve the case or like become the big shot, and then the old guy who's a bit more grizzled and taking him along on his first big mission, and kind of that's how our story gets started with these
Dude,
two out on the
I'm
first
reading
mission.
that. I'm reading it today. I really wish I had a son so I could just read that to him to sleep. But I wanted to ask, with Huxley, is Huxley your Marvel, or is that your Marvel? Because are you looking to expand the universe with evolution? I mean, I'm pretty sure you might have some intricacies where you can make a big
They're
multiverse, or is that not
yeah,
something?
at the moment they're separated, but there are some connected threads that I could create some crossover. Like the cover of issue 5 is this kind of blue character, and there was some things I did in evolution that's little seeds of certain things that could connect if I wanted it to.
Alpha
So there could be
plays
some fascinating storytelling.
only.
If once Huxley's out the door and I decide next steps, there could be some interesting crossover or something potentially.
Shoot. Is there anybody in your that guy who created the that short? I think he was Russian or something about the
Serbian.
What's his name?
Sava Zikovic.
Is he in NFTs? Are you guys gonna collaborate or?
I don't think I think he might have released a little bit, but there might be some stuff coming.
Got it.
Is all I'll say. Yeah.
Got it. So, what does the release schedule look like? Someone asked for each issue.
I think we're finalizing that like very, very soon. So that should be out there pretty soon. But I don't want to confirm something that's not achievable. So I'll wait till we've got all that locked down. But yeah, I'm excited to go through that and have this kind of like, we can just expect like every Monday this is going to happen, or every Friday is this part of it. And then it's like, okay, now issue 2 starts, and then we go through a similar cycle in issue 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. I feel like, you guys still have 5,500 comics left. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on this project. I think eventually it's going to go at a flash, just like the way Punk's comics did. It didn't sell out fast. They had to say they were going to do a burn mechanism. They had to implement a new system. So I'm pretty sure you're content regardless. You're really not in it for like a quick buck. You're in it for the long game. That's how you've always been.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always because the NFT space moves so fast, right? And like if something doesn't sell immediately, it's just like, oh no. But then it's like, it's only been 4 days. Yeah. In like any other industry, it's like, this has been like 4 days. Okay, similar projects took like 1 or 2 months to sell at a similar volume. It's like, okay, let's see where this goes. And yeah. But it's always like if you think about it from a Web 2 standpoint, it's like, man, that's amazing. It sold that much in like 2 days or something. Like, that's incredible. But yeah, it's always an interesting community, and Web3's definitely something else.
I would love to one day collab with you on maybe, having the YungContent toy wearing a Huxley helmet or something. I think that would be cool. I think that would just be super fandom. Like, cause I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And then I think that would be really fun. There's so much stuff that you could do here. It's just
it'd be super fun.
I wanted to ask too. I asked you last time if you wanted to be a human, a cyborg, or an alien. Are you still the cyborg? I think you said cyborg.
I guess so. Yeah, because a cyborg could connect to cyberspace,
or releasing anything.
Could connect to cyberspace, I guess, and also be a human. That's pretty good middle ground, I guess. But maybe this time let's try alien just to see what that's like.
I mean, you got some. Is that antagonist in your story? He looks very intimidating, or that thing looks intimidating. Is that an alien?
Which one? The purple guy or the
purple guy?
The black robot.
Big stick.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the robot. Yeah, that one's a robot called the Demon.
Ugh.
And they're called the class of robot is called the Phantom in the universe. And yeah, you guys will find out more about them in the next issues.
He looks fucking like a fucking crush you like a grape.
Yeah, he's something else. It's funny because I designed that character pretty early because he's teased in issue 1, and then I designed the character on the cover of issue 3, and then he looks so much cooler than the main this kind of black robot, and then I had to go back and like make that one look way more intimidating, and that's why he's kind of quite intimidating because it's like this organic thing that I've been sculpting back and forth, and that's always pretty fun. Of just like another reason I didn't really share too much about it when I was working on it, because a lot of things like that would happen, just like adjusting on the fly, and if something later looks really cool and outshines something else, I want to make sure to correct that. And
absolutely. Avian said, sound clipping that cyborg talk to all of the humans in the Huxley Discord at Ben. Yeah, in the Discord, they're literally, you can choose human, robot, or AI, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's such a fun energy there. That your rooms are super like organized. You are literally in a well-oiled server.
Yeah, for sure.
And
it's been cool.
Avian Clips, you're a legend. Remember the name, everyone. Avian, you're gonna remember that name. What were you saying, Ben?
No, I just said, yeah, it's always fun to start a new server in Discord and like see it all come to life and all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of coming to life, I know you got stuff to do. I know you got to get some sushi. I think you're going for sushi. What are you going for tonight?
I'm not sure. I'll have to see what I feel like. Maybe some Korean or something.
Some
galbi.
I do love that. One thing before I let you go, when you created that robot character, you were saying that it's like you scrap it sometimes. Sometimes you scrap it. Did you create that in ZBrush? Did you create that in Blender? And
initially it was all just pencil, like just drawing in pencil and then painting.
Pencil.
And then for the 3D stuff, I worked with a small team to help. I would usually block them out in 3D, and it was just having really experienced guys to do the more detailed technical modeling, who are more experienced in that, because I was still finishing the comic at the time, and then just going back and forth with them of how exactly I wanted it to look. And yeah, it was really fun to kind of adapt that to make sure it all looked the best it could be in like a live action sort of fidelity.
I love that. All right, Ben, you know the drill. This is the part where you channel your inner sensei. I'm going to play the gong for you. Here it goes. And you channel your inner sensei. You could shill a product. You could shill something. You could say how grateful you are. You could do whatever you want. You have the floor, and then we're going to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Just want to appreciate everyone for showing up to Huxley. And if you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out at huxleysaga.com, and just really appreciate everyone for checking it out and enjoying it. And it's been cool to see a lot of people who never knew what an NFT was at all finding this just because they thought it was cool and diving in. And just really grateful and honored that this is your first NFT experience. So just thank you guys a lot.
Dude, you're so humble, bro. I got a lot of love for you. I can't wait to see you in New York. Shake your hand. I definitely won't bother you because a lot of people will be there. But if you want to get a drink or some pizza, let me know. But guys, what I want to say, you have very few comics in the NFT space. I can name them, but I think Huxley Saga is what it's gonna do is gonna separate itself from the pack. The connections, the storytelling, the art, the pure veracity and passion around creating a multiverse. I think Ben is the perfect leader for it, and I'm looking forward to being a rabid, frothy collector. Dude, I appreciate your time here. I'll catch you soon. Hopefully you can come back on.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Live the dream, eat ice cream, and above all, stay content. Peace.